These are my current headphones, the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro, and these are the 80 Hz closed back versions. There are several different versions from Beyerdynamics. They're all good. I really like these ones, but the journey to get here was a long one. And there's two things that I've come to learn. First, studio headphones are very much a personal choice. And number two, it wouldn't be unusual to have more than one set of headphones for different purposes. Let me explain. When I first started my recording studio, it was also a rehearsal studio for several bands that I was in at the time. The headphones that I needed at that time were primarily so the band members could hear themselves on recordings. I didn't really focus on the core capabilities of the headphones. I was really just interested in each band member being able to hear themselves. So I went through a lot of different headphones, some cheap ones like these Sonys. I don't know where I got these, but big variety of headphones. And I kind of missed the point. In fact, this set of headphones that I'm wearing, these Sony MDR-V200 headphones, were the first studio headphones I ever bought. And it's the first time that I realized there were three categories of function I was looking for. First, I needed something that would isolate the sound for recording in front of a microphone, so for recording and tracking. Number two, I needed something for mixing. And number three, there are good headphones for listening that aren't necessarily good in the other two categories. So once I got into the recording process, I realized I needed something better. I looked around at what most studios had that I had been in, and they all had these Sony Professional 7305s, and so I bought a pair. And they're great. You'll find these Sony headphones are fairly inexpensive, but they're in every studio you've ever been in. They have a very flat response. They're very simple, and they work quite well. There are three things you need to consider that are different about studio headphones than consumer headphones. First of all, you need headphones with a cable. Because if you connect via Bluetooth and you try to do recording, the latency is going to drive you nuts. Second, you want headphones with a flat response. Something that isn't too bass heavy or too treble heavy, that emphasizes a lot of the mid-range, so you can do your editing. Number three, you don't want noise cancellation. Most of the high-end consumer headphones from companies like Bose and Apple and even Sony introduce distortion in order to block external sound. That introduction of extra noise is not something you want in the recording process. What's that? What's that? Oh, I got a phone call. Yeah? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, yep. Yeah, I'll mention that. No, I'm not in Sony's back pocket. No, I didn't get any of these headphones for free. I bought them all. Okay. Sorry about that. Did I correctly call these the Sony 7506? Or is it 7306? I can't remember and I can't see it. So these were my first studio quality professional headphones. Those Sony headphones lasted me a long time, but eventually I wanted to try something different. I was really after Bluetooth headphones, even knowing I wouldn't be able to use them with Bluetooth because of the latency during recording. So I bought these Audio Technica M50X BT. The great thing about these headphones is they can work via Bluetooth, or you can connect them via cable. They work both ways. So if you're just listening to music, using them with Bluetooth wirelessly is really nice. But if you want to do tracking and recording with them, you can plug in the cable. It comes with the standard 3.5 millimeter and an adapter for this to 1/4 inch. The characteristics of these headphones is that they're a little bit more bass heavy. There's a bit more color. They're not quite as neutral as those Sonys. I also find that these particular headphones sound very similar to my studio setup with the Atom Audio T7Vs. Once you learn the characteristics of your headphones, then you can do mixing and other functions with them. I'll use these headphones for listening to samples, editing, tracking, and recording vocals. They're closed back, over ear, they isolate the sound very well, and they're very comfortable to wear. So that brings us full circle, all the way back to the Beyerdynamic DT70s, the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros. As I mentioned, the company makes different headphones. They're all great quality with different levels of resistance, open or closed back. For my purposes, I like closed back headphones. That way when I'm recording vocals, there's no bleeding from the headphones into the microphone. I also like the 80 ohm resistance. The 250 ohm speakers, you really have to crank up the amp in your audio interface. At 80 ohms, these are just perfect. I'd recommend these headphones to anybody with a home recording studio or a professional studio. But I still use those Sony 7506s quite often. And I switch between these headphones and the other ones just to hear what my mix will sound like. Now I still prefer to do all my mixing with studio monitors instead of headphones. But if you're like me, there are situations where you need to keep the volume down and you want to work late into the night where you have to do most of your work with headphones on. I would recommend all three of these. The Beyerdynamics, great quality, they'd be my number one choice. The Sony 7506s, you gotta have a pair of those, especially if you're recording anybody else at the same time. And I really like the Audio Technica. It's colorful and it adds a bit more bass and a bit more crispness at the top end. But I like that dynamic range. 3 different headphones, 3 different uses. The rest is personal choice and it's up to you. It's a lot of headphones. If you found this video useful in your decision making around what headphones to buy, click on the like button. Maybe leave me a comment and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching.